would ever name their daughter Jezebel. Even people who would tell you, I don't believe in this book, will not name their daughter Jezebel. You know, it's amazing about people who say they're atheists, isn't it? It's an amazing thing to me that people will tell you there is no God, but yet they'll cuss and use His name. They'll swear in the name of one that does not exist. They will tell people to go to a place that they will tell you does not exist. You ever notice that? Don't understand that. I'm going to be very honest with you. I believe there are a lot of misguided people in the world, but I don't believe there is such a thing as an atheist. I believe there are a lot of people that don't want God to tell them what to do. I think there are a lot of people that don't want to live for God in any way, but I think down deep in their heart they know He exists, or they wouldn't use His name in any way. Now what we have is the nation of Israel turning just from a sinful, worldly life to actually worshiping other gods. Jezebel's father was, I suppose, one who helped to begin the worship of Baal. And Ahab more than likely got involved with her because of money. You see, in that day and time, money was a major factor in whether or not a man fell in love with a woman. I know that never happens today. Is that right? No man ever looked at a woman and said, well, she's a little ugly, but her daddy's got money. I'm going to marry her. That's never happened in the world today, has it? Probably happens a lot more than you believe. Not that there are a lot of ugly women, but there are a lot of rich men that have daughters. Maybe that's what it is. Now, does it work the other way around? Probably so. Do you suppose there has ever been a woman who looked at a man and said, well, he's not too handsome, but you know what? He's got money. I believe I'll marry him. I believe if you look around the world and you see an 18 to 20-year-old girl who is a very nice-looking young lady and she's married to an 80-year-old man that's got $100 million, it makes me kind of wonder, why is she married her? How about you? I know a man who was in his late 50s. Got involved with a 22-year-old. And I looked at him right in the eye and I said, well, wonder what she sees in you. Things haven't changed, have they? The world is no different. In many cases, people are willing to turn their backs on God for money and the things of the world. Ahab didn't have much of a legacy. You look at what he had to use as an example and look at what happened in his own life. He followed right along after the example that was set for him. Sadly enough. You know, it's amazing to me when you look at people's lives and see what influences them the most and how they deal with things. When I was 10, 12 years old, there were two young guys who lived next door to us whose mother was a very bad alcoholic. She was probably as talented a lady as you would ever be. And I will say, she did not drink on the job. She was a registered nurse. And she knew what she was doing. She was probably as good as most doctors. But when that lady was not at work, she was drunk. The minute she got home, she started to drink. And I watched for several years, and I was very close to her two sons. I watched their lives. One of them turned out to be an alcoholic, just like his mother. And the other one would probably smack you in the mouth if you tried to offer him a beer. Completely opposite direction. We never know how we're going to affect other people, do we? Now, she affected the one to the point where he would never take a drink. As far as I know to this day, and he's my age, he's never had a drink. And yet his brother stayed drunk. We affect other people. Sometimes in a good way and sometimes in a bad way. But I look at the king of Israel and I see what he did and how he affected the people. He got them involved in things that they should not be doing. Now, the Bible that he had these men that were evil before him, he goes and marries a woman who does not believe in the one true God. She believes in the god Baal. Now the Bible says he built a place of worship for Baal. And then he put statues inside of that place of worship. And then he built groves all around. And why do you suppose Ahab did that? Ahab was pretty much an evil man, but he wasn't one that was raised up not to worship God. Who was the influence? Our Sunday school class this morning was talking about marriage. It was talking about the church. We need to be very careful how we're raising our children today. And by the way, I look around the world today and I wonder if anybody's raising our children today. How about you? Look around the world today and you see there are no rules, no regulations. Things that parents used to stand on solid and say you're not going to be involved in that. Today we are looked at. If you tell your children or your grandchildren this is what God says and it's wrong to do what you're doing, we are abusive to them. That's the way the world sees it. Let them do whatever they want to do. Let them make their own decisions. If you live close to a railroad track and you see a train go by 4 or 5 times a day, your backyard ends up at the railroad track. Would you say to your children, you can play in the backyard if you want? And when the train goes by, you can play on the tracks if you want. It's your decision. Make up your own mind. Is that what you would do as a parent? I doubt it. You would probably teach them in every way. So if the railroad tracks, probably wouldn't let them play in the backyard by themselves until they were old enough to know right from wrong. So why is it we turn loose kids that are 10, 12, 14 years old and let them go to parties where there's alcohol and drugs and all the things of the world and say to them, now you know better, so don't you take part. But there it is. That's what we're doing in the world today. When I was a kid, and that's been a long time ago, I didn't know anybody that was 12 years old that ever had a drink of a beer unless their parents were alcoholics, and after they got drunk, they snuck it away from their parents. I did know that. But do you realize that today, by the age of 12, kids are taking drugs? Why is that? Parents are saying, oh, don't do that. I have no doubt. They're telling their kids, you shouldn't be involved in that. But then they turn them loose, let them go where they want to go. If you don't believe me, go to the mall sometimes. Last summer, one day, we were walking down the mall. It was about 9 o'clock at night. And there was a bunch of kids, probably, and I'm guessing, from 16 down to about 10. Mall security had to stop a fight. Guess where the parents were? Your guess is as mine. Wasn't a parent to be seen anywhere. 15, 20 kids all at the mall. Parents drive by, drop them off, come back and get them. 10 o'clock, whenever. Turn them loose. Let them do whatever they want to do. And they become heathens. And then we look at them today and say, what is happening to our kids today? We didn't act like that when we were little. No, we had parents. Somebody told us right from wrong. But not only told us, they said you get involved in that and there's going to be some consequences to pay. Well, if I had anything to say about it, my son wouldn't do that. That's the dumbest statement I ever heard of a parent make. That particular parent talking about a 16-year-old boy. One thing that he had control of that would have probably solved his problem. It's called a set of keys to a car. I don't know about you all, but when I was 16, if my dad said you are not to be involved in this and